1989 FXST Softail. It's my first Harley, and I got it a couple of weeks ago after my chopper build, which is the same engine. So I just want to talk about the wiring. I want to tell you what I found and what a mess, and I just want to tell you what I'm gonna do and how easy it is. So I brought it home and I noticed there's no signal lights on it. So first thing I did, I put a new battery, I start the engine, I check the stator because I suspect probably the alternator is not working. So I checked the stator on it, and the stator wasn't giving any voltage, so it was bad. I will show it to you. So that's the first thing I did, and then I noticed there's no signals on it. I said, okay, I'll put signals on it. I ordered new signals. Before I went into the electrical, the first thing I did, I opened the primary, inner primary, and I found a broken bolt on the tensioner. I found this stator completely burned. No wonder, after I tell you what's happening with the wiring. So I opened the primary, inner primary, changed the new main seal on the engine, new stator, better stator than this. From what I see, this one has a 4 leads as one. As you see, 4 wires running as one. Leads, get at least 2 leads or 1 lead wire. It's gonna last more. So I changed main seal, stator, 3 seals on the transmission, and I changed 2 seals on the inner primary. All the gaskets, I had to put a gasket maker on this because the joints between where they touch, where they meet, they're not even because of the chrome. So I said I'm just gonna put a gasket and gasket maker. Anyhow, I finished that, I closed that, and I thought, okay, let me just open the handlebar switches. So I didn't know if there's wire running to the engine for the signals, or they just cut the wires, or what happening. So I opened the signal switches. I found where are the signal switches? They're here. So one signal switch was, the button is there and the switch is there. So I said, okay, I'll just connect wires. I already put my pulling wires, so I can pull wires. But then when I open the second one is just a button, but there's no switch on it. So I said, okay, let me search, find a button, and I'll just go from there. Before I open the tank, I haven't opened the tank, nothing, I just opened the switches. Then the price for the turn signal, just for one, black, the way it is, it was half price from buying all the switches in chrome. So I said I'm just gonna order chrome switches, and I just got them today, which are these. So I'll install those later. So now I want to talk about the wiring. I removed the tank, and this is what I find. All these wires, all of them, wrapped in electrical tape, stuck right there, and what a mess. So I start digging into the wires. The first thing I start doing is basically start playing with the switch. This switch, the way I start, when I started the bike, the first thing that I noticed was I started the bike, I ran it, I checked the stator was not working, I shut it off, and then I wanted to start it again. The battery was exhausted. I couldn't start it couldn't turn the engine at all. I'm like, I have a bad battery or something. It's brand new battery anyhow. So now when I open here, I said, okay, let me see what's happening here. So logically, like I said, it's my first Harley. I don't know at what position what's supposed to happen. But now I'm thinking logically. We have this, so we have 1 off and 1, 2, 3 positions. 1 accessories, that one I don't need, and I have lights and ignition. So I'm thinking that this bike, the way it was starting, you had to turn 1, 2. On 1 nothing happens. You turn on the lights position. So I'm thinking that when you put it on ignition, you'll feed positive to the coil, to the start buttons, to the relay, to the main components, not to the headlight. And then once you start the bike, you turn the headlight on, because when you start the bike you don't want to drain the battery. That's my thinking. That's what I'm gonna do. So now I start checking which one gonna be my main positive wire coming to the key switch, and where I'm gonna send positive to the other components. What this guy did, main wire, main plus, positive, coming to this button, and then when you turn here to the lights, you have positive coming here, and so basically he had it there, main, and then lights and lights coming here, accessories, I don't need it, but he had it connected there too. My plan is main wire comes here, then from this, which is main wire, will come here, and then when you turn to the ignition position, will feed here. So from here I will connect to the main components, like I said, the coil, the starter buttons, the tail light can be on, no problem, the signals, they can be on. And then when I turn to the lights, I'll connect it here or there for the headlight. So now then, what happened, I started digging into the wires. So this is what the guy did. I don't know who did this, I don't know why he did it this way. I mean, honestly, there's nothing on it. It's as simple as it can get. The only thing is I have a fuse here, that the main line comes from the regulator, and then it feeds to whatever it needs to feed, battery and all the other components. And then there was this relay. So the relay, the way he connected, everything was wrong. That's one thing. And then I'm looking at the wires. So now one wire coming from there, positive, changing into another wire, like 18 gauge, then some 14 gauge, then going to another short wire, 18 gauge, then that looks like 20 gauge, continuing to the buttons in the handlebars. Then the main wire feeds there. The main wire coming from here, it's this wire, brown wire, 18 gauge. Then he put some thicker wire going to here. That's the wire. That's the main plus coming to all the other components. So from here you connect one 14 gauge going to the coil, this one, and then to everything else. Short wire here, short wire there, twisted here, short wire there, like short wire there, another wire, then here continuing to the lights, continuing to the switches. I'm like, what the heck? So now the most interesting part that I found, I'm like, okay, let me do some checking what's connected, what's not connected. So I'm gonna show you something very interesting. So let's put it on continuity, ohms. So now main wire, which is the positive wire coming to the key switch, right? And let me get here. And I'm connecting the other end to the ground. And look at that. It's short. And I start digging a little bit more, and I said, okay, this has to be something with the ground, that he has some wires grounded somewhere for some reason. I mean, it's all mess, but I just wanted to know for myself what's happening. So I'm looking at the wires that they go into the lights switches. So this is the first, let me check. First one is high and low. Second light is neutral, and the third light is the oil, right? So now I'm looking what the guy was thinking that he connect. So you have ground on this housing of the light, you have ground and you have plus on all of them. So he has the ground connected to, so what he didn't know, that the signal switch for the oil and the signal switch for the neutral, when they engage, they give you ground to the engine, they don't give you plus. So this guy was thinking that, okay, I'm gonna connect the wire from neutral switch, which is this neutral switch, going to the plus of the light, which that's ground wire. Basically, you need to have a positive wire going here, and then once you have it in neutral, it's gonna be grounded. But now in this way, he has those switches going into the plus, but those switches has to go into the minus, basically on the ground of the light. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I had a plan anyhow when I saw that there's no signal lights to use this. This module, it's called, what is it called? It's called the Illuminator Pro 3. This one gives you signals for left, right, and it gives you 2 extra wires, so you can have another lights showing you in the dashboard that you are signaling, and that's pretty much it. Okay, just an update about the ground with these wires here, that they were connected the other way around. I switch. So I made this ground directly going from neutral sensor and the oil sensor going to the ground, to the minus side of the bulbs right here. So you can see this one going in the back there, and then the other one going in the ground there, and then I run wire to the plus. Now we have a resistance, it's not shorted. So now if I turn off the key, And yeah, just put it here where the main feed is with the positive. So now when you turn it on, it gives you resistance because the bulbs, they have resistance. Depends what kind of bulb it is. So yeah, now I'm sure that that was his one of the biggest mistake, even though this all is mess. And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now that I cut all the wires off, I installed the new chrome buttons here and there. Things will be much easier, and they're matching my module, the colors, so it's gonna be pretty simple. I made my own drawings for reference. This is the module, and it tells you all the colors, where they go. Let me see, I'll try to explain my drawings here. So this in the middle is terminal block that I might use, I might not use. You can always twist the wires, crimp them together, up to you what are you gonna do. That doesn't really matter as long as they have good connection. So first thing, this is the battery. That's the positive side. It comes from the regulator through a fuse, 30 amperes, and I'm taking one wire to the key switch. Like I mentioned here, I'm gonna use this connection right here on the key switch to bring the main positive to the key switch. Once I turn the key switch to ignition position, the voltage will continue here. So I'm taking it to, let's say, the terminal here, and from here I'm gonna take positive voltage to all the other components. So in this case, let's start. Well, I'm gonna go through the module and all the wires, and they all matches now. So this is my rear signals. So this one will be coming from the module. Yellow wire goes to the plus signal light, and then I will have a black wire. I already run wires for the rear ones, color coded. So let me show you the wires here that I run. So this is my wires now, coming from the new signals, and this is wires for the signals, for the brake, and for the tail light. So let me see. So that's that. The black wire will be ground for all the lights in the back side. So left signal, tail light, and the brake will be grounded with one wire. Signal light, green, connect. Yes, I don't have a gray wire because the guys that was cutting my wires, he probably missed one, so he missed the gray. So I don't have a gray, so I replaced the gray with the green. So here I have a green wire running, coming, joint. It's gonna join with the gray wire of the module. Then we have the running light. Running light, positive voltage comes to the running light, so that will be always on. Then now for the front signals, same thing. Brown with white will connect with the same color to the plus side. They both will be grounded with one ground wire. The left one, it's purple. That's what I'm gonna put. I haven't installed those yet. And the signals, that's pretty much it for the signals. The module gets voltage to the orange wire. So the module gets voltage through the orange wire, which that orange wire is gonna be connected again. It's gonna be connected right here. And I haven't really drawn out, but it's gonna be connected right there, and then something like that, something like that. Wire. So that's pretty much for that. Pretty simple. The switches now they color match too. So the left switch, we have a purple wire that connects with the purple of the module, and then this is where I'm going to bring to the green wire to the switch. I'm going to bring positive from the positive ignition side, and goes to the green wire of the left switch. Once you press the left switch, it sends positive voltage to the module. The module blinks 11 seconds. Same thing for the right switch. Right switch has a green wire that comes in, positive, comes into the switch. Switch is always remains open. You press, send signal, brown wire to the module, and then it flashes for 11 seconds. And that's pretty much it for those things. That's really simple. Now what else I have here? I have the brake switch. The brake switch has two wires on it. One is orange, the other one is red. So for the front brake switch, I will bring positive voltage to the orange wire. So the positive to the orange, you press the brake, it closes, and then it sends positive voltage to the red wire. And that red wire, I'm gonna connect it to the positive brake light. So then if you go back to the rear brake, the rear brake will take positive voltage to the switch, the rear switch, and when you press the brake, the rear switch engages, closes the circuit, and voltage passes through and goes to the same. So no matter you press the rear brake or the front brake, the brake will turn on. That's pretty much for that. So now the other side, let me see here if now the other side, I have my high and low switch, horn switch, start button switch, kill switch, or on and off, the coil, relay, headlight, and then I have my lights on the dashboard. That's the high and low. Actually, that's the high only. That's the neutral switch, and that's the oil switch light. So let's start from the beginning here, from the top. Now again, these colors are the colors that come with the switches. Blue wire will come I will bring positive voltage to the blue wire, which is gonna come from the same connection right here. I'm sending a positive voltage to the blue wire of the button of the switch, and then when you turn it on high beam, that's a white wire, it will connect directly to the headlight, the high beam headlight. Once you switch to low, the positive voltage closes here and sends positive volts to the yellow, through the yellow into the low beam. Then for the horn has 2 wires on it, orange wire, which you need to bring the positive voltage to the orange wire. The horn switch remains open. When you press on it, passes the voltage through the black wire into the horn, and then the other side is grounded. So that's it for that. So now for the let's see, the start and the kill button. Same thing, same idea. There is the wire on that side is gray, so you have a gray wire coming to the kill switch. The gray wire will bring positive voltage up to here to the switch. So now the switch is on off. It's off, and it remains open. There's no voltage going through any other components in the start button or the coil. Once you switch the button to the run, the switch closes, passes voltage through the white wire, and the white wire I will connect it to the coil directly. Maybe it will go through the terminal, I don't know, but it goes to the coil. So now we have a positive voltage to the coil, and same thing, there's a white wire jumper, voltage going through the white wire to the start button. So now the start button, it remains open. Once you press on it, passes the voltage through the black wire, and I'm taking it to the relay. So the relay, from what I was checking the book, it says should go to the 86. When you press the button, voltage should come to 86. Positive should always be connected to the battery, to number 30, grounded with 85. So once you press the start button, voltage goes to 86. It closes the switch that remains open, passing positive voltage to 87, connected to the starter, and the starter will engage. That's pretty much it. And now for the lights on the dashboard. Oil pressure switch, which remains closed. This one remains closed, and when you turn on the ignition, it passes the ground because it's closed. It touches the ground of the engine, and the light will be on. When you start the engine, this switch here will become open, and there will be no ground anymore, so the light will go off. Same thing for the neutral switch. Neutral switch, the way it works, when you're in the first gear or any other gear, it remains open. When you go in neutral, it closes. Basically, the switch is touching the ground of the engine and the transmission, and it's giving you ground to the light, so the light will come on. And then for the high and the low beam, one side will be grounded, the ground side of the light will be grounded, and the positive side will come from the white wire of the high beam switch. Okay, so there's one thing that I missed here. Here you need to use for the headlight you need to use a relay, because the wires from the switches, they're really thin, like 20 gauge, and you need to use at least 14 gauge for the headlight. So it's a good idea to put a relay here, otherwise you might burn the wires. Here's another shot from the whole thing. So here how my wires look like now. They're all matching. Here how it looks now. Buttons all done. Done here. Coming through there. All heat shrink. The signals in the front are not done yet. I have to make some brackets. So this is how it looks here. All the wire from the back in here, going to the rear, and I think here is just the relay and the fuse. And so I use another fuse here, and that's a very good idea because I already burned one. I was testing something, so I touched the ground and fuse burned. So that's a very good idea to put another fuse here. So this is the module for the signals. This is the connector that I did actually. It's a 18 wires connector. I connect all the wires from the back this side, the other wires from this side, so you can just split it, take this side, take that side there. And this is the new lights that I use for the dashboard. The neutral is still not working because I'm waiting for the switch. Switch is bad. The oil switch was bad too. The oil switch was bad too. I changed a new one. So here I'm gonna show you. This is my signal lights indicators. So I'm gonna put them right here. I drill some holes right there. 2 holes. They should look nice, and at least you can see that you're signaling. What else I did? Yeah, that's pretty much. Let's see. So this is my connections, same as the drawing. Main line coming here. This is for the headlights. That's for the headlight, and all the others, ignition, and all the other components come through this wire here. Fuse. I have the connection here, so you can take it out if you need to add or do something. So let's see. So this is the ignition here, and then once you start the engine, there you have the light, and then that's the light. You can test the signals. Left signal, that's my left signal right there. It's showing me that I'm signaling. That's my right signal, left signal. So in the back it's gonna be something like that. And the other one, pretty simple. Front brake. So front brake working. So if I press the front brake, you can see the light coming out there. If I press the rear brake, It's not working. Why it's not working? Rear brake, is it connected? This is my rear brake connection here. And something ain't working now. I know it was working, but now it's not working. Okay, I have to check and see what is happening there. Okay, so here's the the rear. The switch was the wires were, I don't know, something not right with the switch. Maybe it's going bad, but it's working now, so we'll see. See, sometimes working. Maybe I have to release the air. Maybe it doesn't make good contact. We'll see. This side, what did I do? I changed the I changed the regulator too. I had a ground wire to it, to the engine. There was no ground to it. It wasn't grounding really good, so I had a wire to the engine, run it back to the, right there, to the fuse. That's pretty much it. Okay, so everything's done on the bike. The rear brake switch was bad. I replaced that. The neutral switch right there, that was bad too. I replaced that one too. So everything works the way it should be now. Let me see. So ignition, neutral switch, oil, light, high beam, low beam. I installed this. LED signals, left, right, or you can have them all four flashing. Press both buttons together. I'll start the bike now. I haven't started the bike for 2 weeks probably. So let's see.